And so we are in a state of emergency.
Okay, white supremacist violence is and always has been the #1 threat to our society.
But I'm also very proud that my wife is white.
My wife is white.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
All right, Charlamagne, please tell me, why was I your donkey of the day?
Hey, man, donkey of the day for Tuesday, January 11th goes to CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky. Now, one thing I pride myself on is not knowing. Okay, I tell you all the time on this radio, I am not an expert at anything. I have my experiences, I have my beliefs, but I am very fluid when it comes to what I think, based off whatever information is presented at the time. More so than the information, sometimes it's just that good old God-given discernment, okay? And from the beginning of COVID-19, from the beginning of this pandemic, I had one thought, and that one thought consisted of 3 words. I don't know. You know how powerful I don't know is? See, when you don't know what you don't know, you don't dismiss anything. You're just listening, and you ultimately make the decision that you are comfortable with based off the information you receive. But when you think you know, when you are 100% sure in your belief about something, then you are stuck to that belief, and you leave yourself no room to pivot. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not a healthy place to be. And that unhealthy place is where so many people have been over the past couple of years, because people have absolute beliefs about what this pandemic is, about what this virus is, about what these vaccines are. And the reality is, don't none of us know nothing, all right, including the people who are supposed to know. And if the experts would just simply say, look, we don't know, we just trying to figure it out as we go along, instead of getting on TV every other day and changing their story, then maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't be so much confusion. And that brings me to CDC Director Rochelle Walensky. God bless her heart. She's just doing the best she can. They are sending this woman out every other day to be devoured by the media wolves, because she is forced to correct a lot of misinformation that is being put out there. And guess where a lot of that misinformation has come from? Them, the CDC. Okay, if you have been confused by any messaging from the CDC or anything you hear about COVID guidelines, don't feel bad. They know they are confusing. In fact, Walensky, the head of the CDC, has decided to get media training so she can go out and restore trust in the agency. She has been meeting with Democratic media consultant Mandy Grunwald to improve her communication skills. And I want to be the first to say it has not worked. Okay, it just hasn't. Can we go down a list of the things we have been told, okay, that have had to be walked back by Walensky, all right? In February, the White House was forced to explain Walensky's comments that teachers did not need to be fully vaccinated for schools to reopen. A day later, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, is that how you pronounce the name, said Walensky was speaking in her own personal capacity. In May, Walensky said fully vaccinated people could stop wearing masks indoors. Only to reverse course a few months later, when new information showed even those with all the recommended shots could still transmit the virus. The latest messaging setback happened last month, when the CDC cut its recommended isolation period for those with COVID-19 to 5 days, and recommended people who tested positive should continue to wear a mask in public for 5 additional days. Confused the hell out of us all. And folks urged the CDC to add a recommendation for a rapid test at the end of the first 5 days. You know what the head of the CDC said? You know what Dr. Walensky said? She told CNN, we actually don't know how our rapid tests perform and how well they predict whether you're transmissible during the end of the disease. Who are we supposed to listen to, man? Okay, I saw this poor woman on Fox News yesterday having to clean up rhetoric from Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor. I don't know how you pronounce the name, because Judge Sotomayor gave out inaccurate claims about kids being hospitalized. Listen.
We have over 100,000 children, which we've never had before, in serious condition, and many on ventilators.
Now, documents we can find from Friday suggest there are fewer than 3,500 current pediatric hospitalizations from COVID-19. Is that true?
First of all, the vast majority of children who are in the hospital are unvaccinated. And for those children who are not eligible for vaccination, we do know that they are most likely to get sick with COVID if their family members aren't vaccinated. So the most important thing we can do for those children to keep them out of the hospital is to vaccinate them and to vaccinate their family members around them.
Understood. But
stop right there. The judge said it was over 100,000 kids hospitalized with COVID and on ventilators, right? And they said that wasn't true. Now, this is how you know Walensky is getting coached by a Democratic consultant, because she didn't answer the initial question about what the judge said. And that's why you always have to ask them the question twice, because after they have given you the scripted, rehearsed, prepped answer, all you get is the truth. Now continue.
Understood. But the number's not 100,000. It's roughly 3,500 in hospitals now.
Yes, there are, and in fact, what I will say is, while pediatric hospitalizations are rising, they're still about 15.
If a Supreme Court justice is giving out inaccurate information, if the CDC director says they need to work on their messaging, who the hell are we supposed to listen to? Now here's the last one. Now, since the beginning of this pandemic, people who are skeptical about the vaccine said the COVID-19 death toll was inflated by people who died with COVID-19 as opposed to dying of COVID-19. Basically that they had underlying conditions, all right? People used to get their ass handed to them for even suggesting this. Well, CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky said on ABC's Good Morning America that 75% of people who died of COVID had at least 4 comorbidities. Listen.
The overwhelming number of deaths, over 75%, occurred in people who had at least 4 comorbidities. So really these are people who were unwell to begin with. And yes, really encouraging news in the context of Omicron. This means not only just to get your primary series, but to get your booster series. And yes, we're really encouraged by these results.
Now, I didn't even know what comorbidities meant, so I Googled it, and it means the simultaneous presence of 2 or more diseases or medical conditions in a patient. So basically, those skeptics of the vaccine were right. And this is what happens when you live in an era where people are afraid to simply say, I don't know. We don't know. We all just trying to figure it out, and I wish that our powers that be would be okay saying that, because you know why we are all confused? It's because they keep confusing us. Please give Dr. Rochelle Walensky the sweet sounds and the Hamiltons.
You are the donkey of the day. You are the donkey of the day. Yee-haw.
All right. Now, Red, you do have the clip where he asked her the second question again, right? You have that. Can we play that just for those who didn't hear it?
Understood. But the number's not 100,000. It's roughly 3,500 in hospitals now.
Yes, there are, and in fact, what I will say is, while pediatric hospitalizations are rising, they're still about 15.
I just don't know how a Supreme Court justice says that it's 100,000 kids hospitalized with COVID on ventilators, only for it not to be true and to be shot down by the CDC director. And you wonder why we're all confused.
You didn't make it better.
I know I didn't. But I just want to put the information out there for people. That's all.
What information? The right one or the wrong one?
That's all. That's accurate. That's out their own mouth. I ain't make none of that up.
But is it right or wrong?
What's right?
The information they giving out.
She says it's, you know what? I don't know. She says it's wrong. She said the judge was wrong. I don't know. You know what? You're absolutely right. We don't know. You're right.
Thanks for confusing me even more.
I'm wearing my mask. That's all I know.
All right.
Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.